Hey. Hey guys, hold on, just want to make sure you guys can see me. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for connecting with me after so much time. Welcome back to Be Kind J. If you don't know, my name is Janyell. All is welcome. This is definitely a safe place, and I really just want to catch up of where I've been, what I've been up to, and stuff like that. I actually resigned from my job. So this is going to be based on anyone that is jobless right now, think about, leaving their job, got fired. I got the juice here for you because I'm going off of experiences of my own experiences, people that, their own experiences, and so on and so forth. And if you do a little bit of research of what's been going on lately in the job fields, and depending on what job fields you're in, I'm going to be basing my experience on being an HR, an HR person, an HR title position. So let's jump right in. All right, so excuse like the litter box on the right side here. I just didn't want to move it because like with my cat, Apollo's still here, by the way. So I resigned from my job. I actually moved from one state to another state, and if you guys happen to know, I used to live in Connecticut, downtown, beautiful city, and I left for several reasons. I just felt like for me it was time for me to grow in another area. I don't have any bad blood. I always believe that every company you work for, try to leave on the best note as possible. I had a great boss, and I had a great coworker. It was nice, but I think it was also time to leave the nest. I was not happy in Connecticut because one, I had no family there. So it was just me and my cat, my beautiful I had a beautiful apartment, windows all the way from the ceiling all the way down to the floor. Those beautiful glass windows. I mean, my commute was 10 minutes. I could walk there, I could drive there, but I feel like you could have all these things, you can make all this money, but if you have, no one to share it with, and I'm not just talking about a significant other, I'm talking about like family or friends, what is the point of all that, So, long story short, before that, was fired in a previous company, I want to say like let go, and, they were doing a reduction in force regardless. But when I was let go, I actually moved at the time I was let go from my previous job before that. I mean, talk about like severe, like freaking out, talking about like, you just signed your name on a lease, it's a contract, for what, a year, and you have no job. Luckily, I was supported through, family and whatnot, and small amounts, and I was also supported by unemployment. I was able to bounce back, get a temp job, and from my temp job I was able to get the current job that I recently resigned in. So fast forward, now I'm back in my original state that I grew up in, and it's nice, it's beautiful out here. The only thing that I will say is that New York is expensive. New York is so dumb expensive that they don't pay you. And just to kind of brief a little bit about the HR ladder. So I was in a mid position, and mid positions in New York pay you very little amount compared to what they paid me in Connecticut. And it was just about, I want to say anywhere from a 10 to 20K difference. And that's a huge jump. Luckily, I was on interviews like crazy, going everywhere, looking around, applying. A lot of things in New York, especially if you're from the island, Long Island, it is on-site. And if you don't know what on-site is, on-site's more when you're an in-person. There is no hybrid, there is no remote options. And those things didn't open up until COVID. So when I started corporate, I was a COVID baby. I was a COVID worker, I want to say. So when I transitioned from a coffee shop, and most of you guys know I worked at Starbucks, I was just getting into corporate when COVID was arising. It was just like the beginning. It was the hot trend, not so hot. So I was used to a remote setting. At one point, I was remote for almost half of a year, more than half a year, in a hybrid setting. So being in an on-site just really wasn't negotiable for me. And honestly, who wants to drive every day, 20, 30, 40 minutes out, Even if it's 10 minutes, it's like, I think that whole work-life balance is very well needed. No one's going to tell you this, but companies are always going to try to negotiate with you in ways of saying, oh, but we have these perks, and oh, we have this and we have that, but we're only our salary range is only like from here to here. Hold on, let me get closer. Yeah. I have a master's degree, and I'm very grateful for having a degree, man. But you're still gonna pay me from here to here. I like to think that, I was very grateful because I was losing hope a little bit, but I will say I was probably losing hope more when I didn't have a job out when I went to a new state. Now the game has changed where I've went through that phase where, oh my God, I can't get a job. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna pay my bills? Da, 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 da. I already went through that phase. So what I did, and I hope everybody knows this, is that you need to save. Like you need to save. And I'm very, very honest with you. When you get a job, any type of income, you need to put money on the side, because God forbid you lose a job or something happens, you have those emergency funds for you. That wasn't something I knew growing up, but thank God that's something I know now. So having emergency funds is amazing, or savings, because you have that freeway, you have that freedom. You don't have to really worry like, oh, when's my next meal? And by the way, from resigning, you don't get unemployment. Just want to say that. Like, it's a very high risk of getting unemployment. It has to, depending on what state you're in, you only get unemployment money if it's like a medical issue, and a legit reason of really leaving. So I could have done that. I could have gone through paperwork and all this jazz, but I just did it. Don't know why. I felt like God just said, hey, just live your life. I was gracious enough to get a separation package, which means that the company provides you a lump sum of money to help you with your resignation, and about a certain amount of money for like your healthcare coverage. And then obviously they give you the option of Cobra. Guys, I had the best time of my life. I mean, I was jobless for like a month and a half. Yeah, a month and a half. And I kid you, well, technically it would be 2 months, because I don't start my new job. I got a job. I don't start my new job until a couple weeks later. 2-3 weeks later. So I want to explain this. You don't get this time back, right? And I was a hybrid setting. You don't get this time back. So all the things you wanted to do, you get to do now. So I signed up to a gym. I've been serious about my gyms. I've been going every morning and loving it. I switch it up with a little bit of weightlifting, a little bit of pool, a little bit of Peloton. I have a Peloton bike at home, a little bit of yoga class, a little bit of Zumba class. Fun. But fun and healthy. I get to cook more. I'm cooking at home, all these different meals. But granted, I'm on a budget, so I cook very standard meals, but healthy meals to keep myself consistent at the gym. I go to different cafes. I'm still in school. I'm in a doctor's program, as you guys, some of you guys may know. I currently switched from PhD to human resources to doctors of education, and I can definitely explain that in another video. If we're interested, comment below about that. I just feel like I'm more interested in teaching than actual, human resources itself. And don't get me wrong, human resources does teach. And also cross-training. Cross-training is really fun, and training in general is fun. I love that. Meeting up with friends, meeting up with family. I got to spend time with my grandma. She came on over to U.S. soil to visit me and my family. And obviously she had some things she had to take care of. She just came from Ecuador. And it was fun to be able to reconnect with like my grandmother. I have not currently been to Ecuador because I've heard that it's very, very unsafe there right now, and it was something I was gonna do this year and I couldn't because of all the, shooting and stuff. And if you haven't known about that, you could research it. So, new job. I am still in HR. I went from an architecture company to a software pharmaceutical company. Different setting, but don't let that stop you. That's another thing. Don't let the type of job that it is, like let's say you haven't worked for a company like that, stop you. If you're aiming for a certain industry, be my guest, research it all you want. You will kill it in interviews. And that's another thing I want to mention in interviews is that you may think you're doing a good job, but you don't do a good job in interviews until you actually research and really take it serious. Treat it like this is the life that you're going to live for a couple, whatever, months, years out, rest of your life, whatever. Take it very serious. I thought I did phenomenal in all my interviews, and I have received so many denials where they had told me, we're going to move forward to candidate, we're going to move forward to candidate, we're going to move forward to candidate, thank you for your time. I even got a verbal offer handed to me, and they had told me straightforward that, they called me 2 days after my verbal offer because they were going to email me my offer. They mentioned, we decided to move on with a new candidate. And I said, what do you mean? I verbally got an offer. Oh, yeah, well, nothing's on paper, so it's not really set in stone. But I hope you have a great time. Good luck in your search. We wish you the best. Said thank you, bye. Thank you for the opportunity, bye. Leave on a good note. Even though it may bother me, leave on a good note, because karma does come around, What I do want to say is, it's not easy. It's not easy to search. I know people that have searched for close to like 6 months on their unemployment, and then they got their actual job on the last week of their paycheck of unemployment. And if anybody knows about unemployment, you don't get that much money. Okay? It's like you either pay rent or you pay your bills. It's either or, because you're not really getting that much. And that depends on where your rent is. My rent is very cheap in Connecticut. New York, forget it. I leave you with a piece of advice is that when you want something, go and chase it. Always, always do research. Be informative. I took some courses on the side on things that I really wanted to grow in, like, for example, Excel, formulas. AI is on the move, guys. If you haven't noticed, human resources may become AI resources. And I take it very serious. I'm not saying AI is a bad thing or a good thing, but I would use AI to your advantage. I have taken some courses on AI and try to implement it with human resources. That's like a great thing to do. There's a lot of articles. If anyone's in HR, the SHRM website, if you haven't took your certification or not, if you're a student, you can apply for that website and it will show you a list of articles and tools that you can use. But try to implement that in your life. And not even just HR, guys. Like in every job field, you're going to have to learn how to use it one way or another, because there's other countries. There's other countries out there that are using AI now for their advantage. They're going to wipe us out clean. You're in US, they're going to wipe us out clean. So, if you guys like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Peace.